Hi there, this is Sean, the Honest Book Reviewer, with another book review. In this video we're discussing I is for Innocent, written by Sue Grafton. It's another book in the Alphabet Murder series. This is a fantastic book. The plot, the characters, the twists, the turns, everything about it is spot on. It's a brilliant example of how to write a mystery novel. Also in this book we have a lot of Henry and a lot of Rosie. We also get to meet one of Henry's brothers, William. He comes to visit for a few weeks, at the start anyway. I just love to see the interactions between William and Henry, but also interactions between William and Rosie. And in this book, you get a great friendship developing between William and Rosie, and it kind of just shifts the world for more characters in the book other than those two. So it's great to see in this book, and this book is just super. It's a fantastic read, one of the best books in this series, maybe even the best book. At the start of this book, we find out that Kinsey has a new office in a small law firm. She's doing some work for them, just delivering subpoenas. We also find that she lost her job and her office at the insurance company. That's what happened at the end of the previous book. That was the big ending, and it shifts her life a bit, because now she's working for a law firm, not earning as much money as she used to, working for the insurance company, and she's struggling a bit because she's got to pay more rent now. Rents are going up because property prices are going up in the area, and she's struggling to make ends meet a bit because handing out subpoenas to people doesn't pay as much as doing those investigations for the insurance company. Fairly early on in this book, we find out that the PI that the insurance company was using to investigate people for them has died from a heart attack. We also find out that this PI was the guy that trained Kinsey. The people at the law firm asked Kinsey to take over his cases, and one case in particular. The case is they're trying to take a guy called David Barney to civil court. They think he killed a lady called Isabel. David Barney was taken to criminal court. He was arrested for the murder a few years ago, but he was acquitted. So he wasn't found guilty, and because he wasn't found guilty, he can't be taken back to criminal court for the same crime. So one person in particular, who's the ex-husband of the lady who was murdered, is trying to take him to civil court. All this happened around 5 or 6 years ago, and there were no witnesses to the murder. So it's very hard to find people to give evidence to support that this guy actually killed Isabel. So the only thing Kinsey can do is review the other PI's notes. The other PI's name was Morley. Review his notes and review the case files, and then talk to people who knew the murder victim, but also who knew the suspect, David Barney. So what Kinsey sets out to do. And while doing this, she meets a whole range of characters, and they're interesting for all different reasons. We have the sister, the twin sister of the murder victim. We have an ex-wife and another ex-wife of David Barney. We've got the ex-husband of the murder victim and his wife. We've got the ex-business partner of David Barney and his wife. And we've got just a family friend and her daughter. And all these people, they're in a complex web. They all seem to know each other. And there's these secrets that they're trying to hide, and these secret connections that Kinsey's trying to ferret out and put together. They don't give a lot away. Kinsey has to really work for the information. But I love this book because it puts Kinsey back into her usual practice of traveling around, talking to people, sometimes being rude to them to get information out, but trying to get to the truth as quickly as she can. And there's a quick time frame for this as well, because the civil case is meant to be tried in a week or something from when she starts investigating this case. So she hasn't got long to try to get as much evidence as she can to prove in civil court that this guy David Barney is guilty. As Kinsey digs deeper, she finds out that David Barney may have an alibi for the time of the murder 5 years ago. Could he really have been the person who killed Isabel? And she's not really sure. She digs deeper and she's having doubts. Is there another person who could be guilty? And it turns out that a lot of the other people she's talking to do have other good motives for murder. So it's all up in the air, and she's got people harassing her basically to solve this very quickly. David Blarney must be guilty. He's the only person who could have done it. People are very blinded by the fact that nobody else could be presumed as guilty. So Kinsey is struggling a bit with this case, and she gets her back up a bit when people are harassing her about it. And that's quite interesting in this book as well, because you see how Kinsey reacts to a lot of pressure, and you see how she deals with these people, and she deals with them quite skillfully. She's quite rude to them sometimes as well, in Kinsey's usual way, and we're getting used to that as the series goes on. But she's dealing with a lot of people who are quite angry. So there's very high emotions in this book. It's very emotional. These people are quite distressed. They don't want to have the past dug up. But there's also people who are quite vicious and who have really strong motives to lie sometimes about the murder victim and the suspect. I won't go into that whole mystery anymore because I don't want to give any of the great twists away, because there are really good twists in this book, and I think this is the book so far in the series that has the best twists and the best turns and has the best mystery as well. I found this mystery very complex. I found it the best crafted so far in the whole series. Let's talk about Henry's brother, William. So this is the other thing going on in this book. William comes to stay. He's obsessed with his health. He's obsessed with monitoring his own heart, his own pulse, everything about it he's obsessed with. And he drives Henry mad. Henry is just almost driven insane by William's activities and this obsession he has. When they're at Rosie's having dinner, Kinsey's explained to Rosie already about what William's like. Rosie seems on a mission to snap William out of this rut he's in, get him out of this obsessive state, and get him to enjoy life a bit. That's what she sets out doing. And she gets William to start drinking Hungarian sherry. And he does that, and he thinks it's amazing. He thinks it lowers his blood pressure, and it's doing him a world of good. From that first meeting, we just get the sense that something's going on between Rosie and William. They seem to be flirting with each other. And I think William's in his mid-80s. We're not really sure how old Rosie is. She could be mid to late 60s. But they're flirting with each other. They're forming this great friendship. Could it be more than friendship? That's what we don't know. So towards the end of this book, we just see their friendship getting stronger. We don't know if it's going to be any more, but all the hints are there. And that's just one of the special things I think in this book, is this budding friendship / romance between Rosie and William. As a reader, it's just amazing to see. And it's really fun to see Henry's reactions to it, because Henry can't stand it. Henry's wondering, what if I get Rosie as a sister-in-law? What's that going to be like? And I think Kinsey's loving it. You can just get the sense that Kinsey finds this whole situation hilarious, and it's that comic relief we need in this book. Of course, let's talk about William. William is, of course, Henry's brother, obsessed with his health, overly obsessed with his health, measuring his pulse all the time, having rests, if he turns a page in a newspaper, it seems like he has to go have a rest. Constantly worried about his heart now. He seems to be driving himself into an early grave. Even though he's in his mid-80s, all the people in their family live into their 90s, sometimes late 90s. But I just love the differences between William and Henry as well. William seems very straight-laced. He always walks around with, a long-sleeve shirt, pants, even a suit jacket sometimes. Henry's more laid back. Shorts, Hawaiian shirt, thongs. So chalk and cheese, really, the two brothers. And even in attitude as well, and behaviour. So it's great to see that interaction and see how different they are. Ken Voight is the man who's taking David Barney to civil court. Ken Voight is obsessed with his ex-wife, it seems, so much so that his current wife wants to separate from him. We also see that Ken is very argumentative, very arrogant, very aggressive, quick to anger. And it makes you wonder, could he have been the murderer? Did he kill his ex-wife? He seems angry enough sometimes to snap, and do something like that. So there's that suspicion about him as well. And that carries on through the book for a bit. Yolanda is the wife of David's ex-business partner. Yolanda also makes a great suspect. She can't stand David, basically hates his guts, hates everything about him, thinks that he destroyed her husband's business because he broke off the partnership and took a lot of clients away. She acts like she could be a murderer. She'd have a great motive, and she just is formed to be a great suspect. And Sue Grafton in this book did a great job of giving us a whole range of suspects and making us guess all the way through this book. And Yolanda is one of the people that we guess about. And you don't know until towards the end, of course, who the person is, who the murderer really is. It could be Yolanda because she has access to a murder weapon in one of the murders that happen in this book. I adore this book. I can't say enough good things about it. It's the best book so far in the series. From A to I for Innocent is by far the best book in the series. And it's also, I think, the longest book so far in the series. Seems the book's getting longer and longer as the series goes on. But the mystery, the characters, the whole plot, how complex it is, how everything's weaves together so well and is so tightly finished in the end. Everything's tightly stitched together. There's no loose ends. The twists, the turns, everything about this book is wonderful. It's a textbook example of how a mystery should be written. I rate this a 5 out of 5. A perfect book, the strongest book in the series so far. Sue Grafton has just done a marvellous job in this story. As I read through this series, I will do a book review on each book and put that video up on my channel. If you don't want to miss out on those videos, check out my channel and subscribe. I also have a Sue Grafton playlist. Should be on your screen now.